Welcome. Sorry, that's hot. Welcome to the Ballinesian Podcast.
Hey,
Here,
that's just hot right now. You missed it.
hey.
You were spitting hot fire like 2 seconds before we got on here.
Thailand.
Hey,
Uh,
if you guys ever want to see a rap music
whoa,
video,
whoa, whoa! Listen,
please
listen,
go,
listen. You're here
please
for the
go onto
sports.
YouTube
You're
and
here
look.
for the
Lance,
sports. It's the Ballinesian
Lance.
Podcast on the Polytickin Network. Thank you so much for
If you
tuning
ever want
in.
to see Lance in a white beater feeding, oh no, he wasn't beating.
Oh,
Yeah, man,
shout
go
out!
check it out, man.
No, no, shout out to cousin Will. Uh, and to everybody listening, it is almost time for the Super Bowl. You might be kind of sad because football is over. And look, that's legit. There is seasonal end depression, and we are about to go full into it. But we will be here for the off season, the signings, the draft season, getting ready. Who our teams are going to draft, where all the draft picks line up, any trades that happen. We're going to have that for you throughout the entire spring. Stick with us here. Don't just turn us off until September. We're going to be talking a bunch of things: fantasy football, other sports, yeah, basketball, baseball. Those things also happen. Okay.
Oh, disrespectful.
What? I'm just saying there is a king here, and his name is Jesus Christ. Look, we are
Oh,
here on the Polytickin Network. If you have not, please like, subscribe, rate us wherever you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, whatever. Help us out, push us up the algorithm and up the ladder to other people's feeds. We appreciate you guys listening, but we need to grow this, and we need your help. Thank you. Also on the YouTube page, you could be watching these beautiful faces right now, unless you're driving. Definitely keep listening. YouTube is the Polytickin Network. You can subscribe, follow us there for all the videos from this show and as well as the Polytickin Podcast. Shout out to the Pod Boys, Oh Hello Marcus, Cepha M. The Polytickin Podcast, you can get that as well on the same stream. You can also sign up for the Patreon. Patreon supporting us directly, $5 or more a month gets you an extra exclusive Patreon episode and community chat every week. So slide
telling
on
you,
over there.
look,
Well,
I went in to go buy lunch the other day, and I was like, damn, where did my $5 go for lunch? And then I checked my notifications, and it went to the Patreon. I was like, ah, I'll just go watch the Patreon and not eat lunch. That's better.
whoa,
That's
it's
better.
better than lunch.
Better than lunch, guys. And
Yo,
also, I only had $5 in my account at that time. If you guys are wondering, yes. But
oh, I'm sorry.
but it's better now because I can eat lunch and watch the Patreon. Go spend that $5, folks. And if you have more,
See,
spend more.
it's just a lunch. It's just a lunch a month.
But look, you know what you get if you don't eat lunch? You get to
Where are you getting a
uh
$5 lunch from, dog? Really is the question. Where
hey
is
man, I
five
eat boys
dollars?
lunch when I don't have
What is that?
I
What is boys
I work
lunch?
at Best Buy, so I get a discount, a Slim Jim and a Coke.
Oh no! You gotta pack that. You gotta bring that from
Bro,
home.
no, oh wow, okay, I forgot to pack lunch
Uh,
that day, but I only pay $1.65 for the Coke and $1.50 for the Slim Jim. So, because I get the discount. But if you pay for the Patreon, you get to go hear about how,
bro.
Marcus had to have help also paying for lunch. This is where it was taking me. And he does it now though. And Sepha, that was tough. That was tough because Sepha was like, oh, it's news to me.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, when we were talking about how much would you cover somebody,
Oh man.
yeah, he's like, you would cover somebody's $30 meal. Like, you never did that for me.
Right.
Uh, if you're on the Patreon, you will have heard that Marcus is starting to go on TikTok live. So definitely follow Oh Hello Marcus on TikTok for the lives, the comic book reads, the shenanigans, all the crazy talk in the chat that's going to be going on. Follow him so you know exactly when those are going to happen. I missed the last one, but I'm definitely trying to hop on the next one. He's trying to read comic books, but I think like people are talking and asking him so many questions that he might not get through it. But it's definitely sounded like a really fun time. So Oh Hello Marcus on TikTok doing the comic book reads. We talked about what else did we talk about? Cepha got some cards from One Piece trading card game and for $2 and
he
sold them
has
for $200+
so
each. That
48
is
packs. He bought 48 packs for $150 a few years ago.
and
Two of
now they
those
went up.
packs he sold, or five, sorry, five of those packs he sold for $1,400.
Yeah. So that we talked about that. We got into that. We got into what other games you might be able to look into buying. There's some investing gems there as far as TCGs on the Patreon. Yeah, we talked about trying to get passports. Sam was trying to get passports just in case we gotta zip up out of here. Uh, and yeah, so definitely join the Patreon, patreon.com/the Polytickin podcast. That was just from this week, but there's like 140 other episodes of exclusive content that you can also listen to.
Great stuff.
Also, shout out to Levasa Island Apparel, Brother Eri down there in Modesto, California. LevasaIslandApparel.com if you want to check out the woven blankets that they have, all the different paisley versions, the Levasa. Definitely check out those out if you want the blankets. If you're looking for apparel, definitely log on to Instagram, hit up Levasa, le_Vasa. And you got to talk to Brother Eri and let him know, hey, I saw this, I see these styles and stuff, I'm trying to get this, let him know, we'll work out a deal. But shout out to Levasa, shout out to Eri, always putting in work, doing the right thing, yeah, putting on for the community and the culture. Yeah, get this, see this chunky style, oh my gosh.
I was like,
You can't see anything, but Levasa chunky style, this is like one of my favorites. Excuse me, logos.
Yep, that's literally has him like, that's a tie-dye shirt. Mine has him like black and white.
It's just like when you see another Islander, especially, and they're like, "Are you wearing a Van Camp sweater?" And I'm like, "Nah, dog, it's Levasa." You know that your grind motivates mine long sleeve shirt I have. I wore that in a restaurant one time in Western Oregon, like on the coast. We were going to the coast, and I was walking out of the brunch place. This lady stops me and she's like, "Hi, I wanted to ask you about your shirt." And I was like, someone is asking me about Eri's apparel. This is dope. And I was like, yeah, what's up? And she was like, is it Adidas? And I was like, I'm about to tell this fool, this lady was like, is that Adidas? Oh. And I was like, no. And I walked by her. I did not finish the conversation because I was just hyped to tell Eri. I was like, hey, someone was like, hey, what's that Adidas levels stuff on you? But yeah, I'll wear all the Live Austin gear out there. It's dope seeing other people, especially look and be interested in it.
For sure, you got to, man. You got to.
And you can get yours by going to the Instagram le_Vasa and hit them up. All right, sports. It's the end of championship weekend. We know who's going to the Super Bowl. Seahawks and Patriots fans are up there rejoicing. Things are going on. People are excited. It gets the people going. The Super Bowl just 2 weeks away. Less than 2 weeks away. Man, that's crazy that the end of the 2025 regular season is coming in like 10 days. Yeah, the shadow is leaving. We're gonna be talking about the championship weekend, how the Patriots got past the Broncos, how the Seahawks locked down the Rams in the fourth quarter for both of those teams to survive and advance. Talk about the updates on the coaching search for the Raiders and some of the coaches that they might have been interviewing, signing with other teams. So who's left? What other teams are left? But we're going to start with the latest news from the Chargers, which is the Mike McDaniel's offensive coordinator position is now officially filled. Okay. And it's, and this is crazy because we talked about it last week, how Mike McDaniel was going to come in. Mike McDaniel was going to come in and flip everything on his head. And then the next day they were like, he's also interviewing for the Bills job on Friday. And I was like, wait, what? So it was a couple of days where Charger fans were like, oh, we might not actually have this offensive coordinator in the building if he still gets a head coaching job. And there's a couple other guys that are kind of doing that too. Brian Dable. We'll talk about them when we talk about the Chargers or when we talk about the coaching. For the Chargers, introducing Mike McDaniel on Tuesday, he hopped up there. He did a quick speech, and which really wasn't a speech. He just said him and his family were excited to be there and asked for questions.
Yeah.
And then bro, it was a little uncomfortable actually and unnerving watching the 40-minute press conference of him just like no prep, just going like absolutely, we're talking about this, it's this that. I tried to decipher a lot of it. Basically, he said he did it. He stopped himself from saying that Justin Herbert has not even scratched the surface from what he's done over the last 5 years, because he's going to shit on like his last 5 coaches. But he was like, he hasn't even scratched, he's got a lot of potential, he's got a lot of potential to get. So when they asked him, well, how do you plan to realize that potential? How do you plan to protect Justin Herbert? He said, we got to keep him healthy for 17 games. We got to fix the offense so that it's not putting him in vulnerable positions. And also don't ask Justin Herbert to be a superhero just to complete a 5-yard pass. And this is something that, people have been, I feel like, talking about for the last 4 or 5 years, these easy buttons, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Where it's like, a 5-yard pass shouldn't take Justin Herbert shrugging off 3 guys, rolling out, and 15 seconds off the clock. It should just be bang. He's talking about 2-second and less releases. Like the stuff we were talking about Tua Tagovailoa doing in Miami that like just turned it into a timing thing where he was throwing stuff out. He was reading, he was seeing openings before they even happened and throwing the ball before they were even open and hitting wide open receivers. That is what I envision when he's talking about get the ball out early, get it quickly, figure out ways, scheme up ways offensively to make easy completions. That he was talking about all 3 of our quarterbacks could make these type of completions, right? Even the backup quarterback is going to be able to make these completions. So it was good to listen to. He also said he was going to adapt the offense. He mentioned that the most run play that they had in Miami, the RPO that Tua ran the most, had never been a play that he called before he got to Miami. And he drew it up just for Tua and to play to his strengths. So he was saying that the offense isn't going to look like a carbon copy of anything else. It's going to adapt. He's going to be able to do different things just with the quarterback that he has now and the different weapons that the Chargers have drafted and brought in the last couple of years. So, do you have any questions or observations on Mike McDaniel as the Chargers OC?
Yeah, Miami's offense sucks, so obviously Mike McDaniel sucks too.
You're not just saying that.
Yeah, of course not. Are you gonna say because he didn't choose the Raiders? No, we didn't choose him. So, you know, our win, your loss. But no, I think he's gonna, and I hope people aren't mistaken when they hear him say like, within the first 5 seconds of the play, you're gonna find a receiver. It's not a one read offense. It's just that you're gonna be able to read it within those. I know it sounds super like impossible, but what he's talking about is scheming up plays to where within those 5 seconds, someone should be open within your read, and it's not just going to be that one read where that's the only place you're looking that should be open. So also, if they do run an RPO, it might work a little better. I think Justin Herbert's a little bit more mobile than Tua. Not because Tua wasn't athletic, but with the injury that he had before coming into the league, it kind of limited his mobility when he got into the league. So Justin Herbert might be able to run that RPO a little better. So might not be a bad idea to run some of those RPO plays.
Well, I mean, I guess the RPO you could always scramble from it, but what I'm thinking is like you either hand it off real quick or you're passing it to the inside slant. When I think RPO, I think like when Madden first introduced the RPO, it was like if you didn't hand it off, your quarterback just stood there in a passing position, not ready to run. I think now you can like scramble a lot easier just in case. But
yeah.
So I mean, finding those like inside. We talked about the interior running that Mike McDaniel is known for. So finding that, but also Lad McConkey, Quentin Johnston, Trey Harris, Arando Gaston. Like you got guys that can catch it short, especially and take it. So I'm looking forward to seeing Mike McDaniel scheme it up and to see 2026 Los Angeles Chargers hit the field with Justin Herbert having to do a lot less to accomplish even more.
It will definitely be different from what Chargers fans are used to seeing with the run first option,
Good,
and
good.
then after the run first option was the quarterback do everything option once everybody else got hurt. So it'll be different for sure.
All right, let's go over to the other part of the AFC West, the Las Vegas Raiders. Still there in Vegas, still interviewing coaches. What's the
Yeah.
latest? Who's the most likely coach to be signed? Are there any people that the Raiders are waiting for to interview, or what do you think is going on
You
with the
know,
Raiders
as
head
a
coaching
Raiders
search?
fan, as a Raiders fan, we've already talked to Spytech. He sent out emails to all Raider fans, and so is Tom Brady. So we're to keep it tight-lipped, just as the organization is keeping it tight-lipped. So, I don't think I should really tell you guys about what we're thinking about at coaching. Because it would just like be giving away secrets. Also, because no one really knows because it's there's a lot of things going on right now. They do like Clint Kubiak. I think they're waiting on Clint Kubiak to either maybe contact the Raiders about. He did have an interview. Um, there's no word about a second interview, but you know they're also still just kind of waiting around for something. Dayball has been rumored to be the top candidate at the moment, but he's also the top candidate to be the OC in Tennessee. And it looks like he's going to take that job because the word is he's already decided to be their OC. He's just waiting to see after the second interview whether he gets the offer as the head coach for the Raiders. They're also second interview with Davis Webb was yesterday. So that's a really exciting name. A young guy. I'm excited. The only thing I think that you would have a problem with is how well is he networked into the league? Because he's a young guy at 30. Like, how is he going to be able to get his coordinator to come over, a DC to come over? Because, he hasn't really been in the league that long. For a younger guy at coach, you want him to have maybe a little bit more experienced coordinators. But has he been able to get out and network with older guys in the league? Like, if he was able to go out, like for instance, if Mike McDaniel was still, which is probably a bad comparison because Mike McDaniel's a little younger, but is he able to lure those guys over to be his OC or DC? Can he do that? How deep is his Rolodex in the league? Like, does he have guys he can come over and join his staff? Is the only question with Davis Webb, I think. If you're a Raiders fan and you're wondering about coaches, Shieldhouse was on the short list at one time, but I think a lot of people have kind of backed off of him as a head coach. Again, just probably because they probably prefer that he be a coordinator somewhere. But yeah, Joe Brady was high on the list for the Raiders, but he's now the new head coach in Tennessee. Is that what Brady is?
He got promoted to the head coach of the Bills.
Oh, the
The
Bills.
Bills
Sorry,
who fired Sean McDermott. Yeah.
he was the OC in Buffalo. So yeah, Joe Brady's out because he's obviously the head coach. I would think if the Raiders wait too long, Dayball is going to be signing with Tennessee as their offensive coordinator. Davis Webb looks like a really strong candidate. And I think it's really between him and Clint Kubiak right now. And I think the ball is in Clint Kubiak's court, just waiting for him to figure out. Because obviously he's going to coach in the Super Bowl. So maybe he
Mm.
wants to focus on that. Maybe the Raiders had an agreement with him in the last interview that they just waited out, and he'd sign after. So that's what it is right now. My thing is, I think they need to get a coach in place soon with having the number one pick so they can decide on whether or not what they're going to do with that. I hope they draft, but I mean, it still could benefit them to trade the pick away. A lot of scenarios could be going into, but they can't really work on any of those scenarios without a head coach or an offensive coordinator or a DC because I'm pretty sure Patrick Graham should be leaving soon and joining someone else's staff.
You don't think he's going to be the DC this year?
I don't. I think he's out the door already. I think
Mm.
he's been rumored to be a candidate for a lot of the DC jobs, but he's also been rumored to be in contention for the head coaching job down in Arizona. So
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Oh, and let me go over the latest updates for the coaching. So we know that the Bills fired Sean McDermott, Terry Pagula, the owner was shitty to Keon Coleman. And then they promoted, like you said, offensive coordinator Joe
yeah,
Brady
Joe
to
Brady.
head coach. The Steelers this week, they signed Mike McCarthy.
Who says he wants Rodgers back if he could?
Sure. He's like, why wouldn't Rodgers come back? Yeah, because of you and how it ended in Green Bay. Mike McCarthy is 10 years older than the Steelers' last coach. Uh, Mike McCarthy is 63 years old. You think he's going to coach until he's 80? You think he's going to coach? He's going to be another Mike Tomlin there for 18 years? How long do you think Mike McCarthy is going to be the coach of the Steelers? 1 year?
Two seasons
Two
tops if he
seasons?
doesn't make it to like a conference championship game.
The Ravens signed Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, who replaces John Harbaugh there, which
Hey, look,
is
he's rounding out a really good staff. He was able to lure away the defensive backs coach from Notre Dame, Mike Mickens. And,
oh
and I know not too many people who listen to us probably watch college football, but Notre Dame's DB room for the past 2 or 3 seasons has been at least one or two, I think, in college football. So that says a lot for Mike Mickens. Really great coach. He was Leonard Hamilton's DB coach back at Notre Dame. He's got another Notre Dame guy there with him, Alohi Gilman. So kind of a reunion for him, and it's a step up. It's a lateral movement for sure for him, going from the college ranks to the NFL. But Minter he's coached with Minter together, I think at Cincinnati.
well,
So
I
pretty
think
cool.
that's a up, yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
going
upper definitely from college, but like he did such a great job at Notre Dame. I'm a Notre Dame fan if you guys don't know by now, but so it's tough to
oh,
see him
you
leave.
must be new if you don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Just saying. Not like I talk about them all the time, but yeah,
All the time.
not like they had the number one recruiting class in the country this year, but
Stop.
uh, yeah, not like they have the best linebacker in college
Uh,
football in Kingston Video also. But I mean, I'm biased maybe, but yeah, I think
perhaps.
right. Mike Minter is really just like I think he's rounding out a good, not just with
Ooh,
Minter,
Jesse,
yeah, Jesse Minter, not just with Mickens, but I think
nice.
that's gonna be pretty good. I think that turnaround should, well, not, yeah, turnaround from this season because they had a down season. So I think that team is on the ups. We'll see.
I want to hear what Raven fans think about hiring Jesse Minter as someone who's replacing John Harbaugh, who we said was there since
You know,
2008.
I
Man,
think I think they're cool with it because they lost the other, is his last name McDaniel too? McDonald. In
Mike McDonald, yeah.
Yeah, after they lost Mike McDonald, I think having Mike Minter there, because I think McDonald would have been
Mike
on
Minter.
this. Yeah, Jesse Minter, I think uh having McDonald, he probably would have just slid into the head coaching spot. Or I think he might have taken over last year had he stayed, honestly.
Mm.
Uh
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
so
those guys taking those jobs, and then we know the ones that were filled early. The Giants, they got John Harbaugh. The Falcons signed Kevin Stefanski. The Titans got Robert Saleh, and the Dolphins signed Jeff Hafley. Mike Tomlin said he might take a year away. It was reported recently that Sean McDermott, who would be a great coach wherever he goes,
anywhere, yeah.
uh, he also is going to take a year away after initially telling his players that he planned to coach. Talking to other guys, other coaches, I think that have took a year off. They said it was beneficial and eventually worth it. So Sean McDermott, and Mike Tomlin taking their names out of the ring. The three remaining teams that need to fill that head coach vacancies: the Cleveland Browns, who have a Pro Bowl quarterback and the all-time sack leader in a season. That's pretty cool. The Arizona Cardinals, who we talked about, and the Las Vegas Raiders.
Look,
And
there's people right now wondering who the hell you're talking about as a Pro Bowl quarterback in Cleveland. If you guys don't know, Shador Sanders was just activated onto the Pro Bowl team. Take that as how you want it. Now, I don't know if you guys are Shador fans or not, but he is a Pro Bowl quarterback this year.
they have that video of the kid asking Tom Brady at the Super Bowl media. He's like, "Who's your hero?" And Tom Brady starts crying, and he says, "My dad." And then they wrote on top of it, "Hey, Shadur, how did you get into the Pro Bowl your first time?"
Wow.
Oh, damn. Hey. Oh, Luke is a big Shadur fan.
Oh, is he?
Brother Luke, he's a Shadur fan. So I'm
That's
like,
crazy. I might have to. That's funny. Luke, if you're watching this, hit me up. I might have something for you, man. Where's it at?
you got some Shadur cards?
Hey, you know what? They sell. They
Oh,
they actually there is a market. There is a market for them. So
nice.
yeah, dude. You know,
Wow. Oh,
so
that's pretty tough.
yeah, $15 card.
Prismatic
I got you, Luke.
holograph. Nice.
Let me know. Yeah.
All right. Those are the coaching searches, the coaching jobs that are left. Cleveland Browns, who seem toxic. The Arizona Cardinals, who I think tied with the Houston Texans for 10 postseason wins in their like franchise history. The Arizona Cardinals have been around since like 1902, and the Houston Texans came into the league
It's a
2001 or
long
something.
time. It's a long time.
It's a long time to get 10 playoff wins total.
Yeah. Sucks.
Uh, and then, uh, man, wherever the Raiders decide to go, hopefully that guy is like, like I want to say like Mike Tomlin when he joined the Steelers. He was the Vikings defensive coordinator. He wasn't a hot name, especially to replace Bill Cowher.
Sure.
But that's a guy that kind of set the standard, so to speak, that raised the floor of the franchise, not just the players, not just the play on the field, but how, the fans, the people in the building kind of carried themselves. They had that built in with the Steelers, sure, but to take that as like basically a no name coach and to come in and do that big time, I'm hoping that's kind of the same thing that happens with the Raiders. You also have these coaches that just recently took over teams. Mike McDonald, it's his second year with the Seattle Seahawks. They're in the Super Bowl. Mike Vrabel, it's his first year with the New England Patriots. They're in the Super Bowl. And I'm kind of worried about this, right? Because I think Mike Vrabel might be the X factor for that game. He's basically going and just telling everybody, hey, Super Bowl is going to be way different. Okay, here's all the cheat codes. This is what we did when I went 18 times, to those playoff games. This is how I did it. I'm just kind of giving you the game. I feel like that might be kind of why the New England Patriots are pulling out all these wins. Let's talk about it though. The AFC champions are the New England Patriots. There are second graders in the greater New England area that haven't seen their team in a Super Bowl. They will finally get to live that dream that they've had for the last 7 years. It's only been 7 years, guys. They're like, the Patriots are back. It's like, they barely left. There's people that haven't been to the Super Bowl in 30 years, 50 years. Never. And you guys are like, oh, yeah, we're back. I hope the Seahawks pummel you.
Yeah. That's coming from a Chargers fans guy.
Yeah, it is. So the New England Patriots are here. They're set up good. They have the coach, Mike Vrabel, who seems respected beyond his year. I mean, I guess he was a coach before, so he knows how it's supposed to go.
Yeah,
But I kind of forget about that, right? That he was the coach in Tennessee.
Yep.
For Marcus Mariota.
I'll never forgive him for benching Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, he benched Marcus Mariota. Ryan Tannehill went in there, tried to get a career revival. Didn't work. Marcus Mariota still playing. Yeah. Mike Vrabel don't know what he's talking about.
I'm saying.
Unless it's like defense and putting a team together and having them prepared situationally and football IQ and get into the Super Bowl maybe. But quarterbacks, I don't know. And not unless he's handed one. So Mike Vrabel, I want to kind of ask, do you think the Patriots are legit, or do you think the Patriots are frauds as Super Bowl participants?
Heard the argument. I've even heard it probably 20 minutes ago about how they had the easiest schedule in NFL history. I've been hearing, but look, you still got to go out there and play. It doesn't matter who your opponent is. You're hard. You still got to go out there and execute. People are going to talk about how some of the games they won were close or it didn't, they didn't pummel people. But that's I'd be more afraid of that team if I was to play a team that kind of blew a lot of people out during the season, and then you know
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
didn't have a game. They don't know how to come back from a struggle in a game. But the Patriots, they're one of those teams that I think people would say are gritty, like tough.
Hmm.
As they've been
They're winning games that people say they shouldn't be winning.
right, right,
They're beating defenses that people say are going to expose them or show who the real Patriots are, right?
yeah,
And they
exactly.
just keep coming out with more points than their opponents at the end of the game, and keep advancing. So there's like something to be said. I mean, but like every other Super Bowl participant in the last 60 years, they're undefeated in the postseason,
They
right?
are.
They haven't lost. And that's the only reason people are like, well, they can't lose because they haven't. Yeah, it's possible, right? But that's the thing with
Definitely
when
possible.
you're looking at this team and you're looking at the Patriots, and you're like, well, what chance do the Patriots have? They've been doubted. I mean, since the beginning of the season, you're like, oh yeah, they have an easy schedule. What's that going to be? 9 wins, 10 wins, and a wild card. They win the AFC East from the Buffalo Bills. They go, they're like, oh, the Chargers are going to give them a test. Double-digit win. I will say it was 3-6 at halftime. It was 3-9 and entering the fourth quarter. Okay, it
Yeah,
wasn't that big.
but what was the score at the end of the
So at the end, it was 3-16,
game?
which isn't crazy. This isn't crazy. This is
That's what it was just, I'm trying to say. It
the
wasn't crazy, but you know
the
what?
next
They still won.
they
Not,
still won.
not a dig on the Chargers, but like
Okay.
what we're trying to talk about is like,
Mhm. They
yeah,
even though they only scored 16 points when they usually score 28, they still win the game. And that was situational. They just didn't let. I mean, and the Chargers had their chances early. The Patriots just kept plugging along, kept just yeah.
seven
The
ten.
the 7-10. Well, the next week they play the Houston Texans, and they're the Houston Texans. Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson, Derek Stingley, Jaden Petrie. Everyone's supposed to knock them down. They beat the Houston Texans. They forced CJ Stroud into another multi-interception game. They go to the Denver Broncos. They beat one of the best defenses in the league, and now they're in the Super Bowl. But detractors are going to say they didn't have to play Bo Nix. Oh, but they got to play CJ Stroud. He's garbage. Oh, but they played the Chargers. They weren't real. It's easy, easy, cake, 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 cake. They're not going to do it until they do it. And then
Right.
if they beat the Patriots, it's like, well, how could you doubt them? They did it the entire way here. It's like, what
Also,
what
look,
did they do right?
all those teams you just named were all teams that made it to the playoffs, and everybody who's talking that smack are cheering for teams who didn't make the playoffs. So
I mean, there's still people saying that around. But
yeah,
I want to say, what do you think was like one or two of the main things that the New England Patriots did right this season to get to the Super Bowl? I think the number one thing is you got to point to the coach, to bringing the coach in, because they had Gerard Mayo in last year. I mean, not as good a roster. They spent a lot of money this year, but
I
it
mean,
definitely was a 4-13 team
sure,
to a 14-3 team.
but it wasn't also like they didn't go out and get like a bunch of guys. Like there's still a lot of guys that played for Jared Mayo on the team, which goes more, it supports more of what you're saying coaching wise because there's still a lot of guys that are playing on the Patriots now that Jared Mayo had, and I think Mike Vrabel. Nothing against Jared Mayo because I thought he didn't get a fair shake as a coach, but uh, I think Mike Vrabel kind of brought out more of their potential when he got there. So yeah, because there's still yeah they spent a lot of money on key positions, but there was still a lot like Keyshawn Booty had a great season. He came out
Well, let's see, they gave a 3-year deal to Stephon Diggs. They gave 104 million to Milton Williams, 48 million to Harold Landry III. They also signed Mac Hollins and Austin Hooper. So it's like they bought in some Tennessee guys too, like some
right
vets.
guys that Mike Vrabel knew were going to be beneficial to like being mentors to the younger guys on the team.
You
Because
know
my
how to run my system. Come show
right,
these guys my
yeah,
expectations. Kind of set that
because
bar in the rooms every day. That's a good
and
idea.
none of those guys were like big stars during the season, so they were super beneficial to the team in other ways.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah. Uh, my number one reason is because they made use of all the opportunities they were getting into the games. They didn't make too many mistakes, and
Mm.
when they were able to capitalize on the mistakes, they did. And that's how they got to the Super Bowl. Um,
I would say that's coaching. You know,
sure, sure,
making sure your players are prepared, know the rules, know if some crazy situation happens, how to react, respond. Yeah, hell yeah.
yeah. And I mean, and that also goes like again, coaching goes to the like attitude and the
Mm.
just everything around the team. Like guys maturing with because there was a lot of I guess rumors of like immaturity among some of it because they had lot of young players last year on the Patriots. So just the whole yeah the culture of the team is what I was trying to say has changed, and that helps a lot because if you bring in guys that believe in your system and like you just said can relate to the younger guys, they start believing in the system because these guys you brought in who
Mhm.
believe in your system who know how
Yep.
to work it, it'll flow through the whole entire organization. And I think that's what happened. And yeah, I don't think they're a fraud.
Oh,
Stop. Just they're a good team. They're solid. And defense is they're winning. They got a really good combination of a great young quarterback, and a super solid defense.
this is cool because the defense is really good while the quarterback is still kind of escalating and
Yep.
growing. So then, like, when the quarterback does eventually enter his 6th year and starts making like that big money, then your defense doesn't have to be as good because the quarterback is carrying a little bit more.
Yep.
That's just a great way to line it up for the Patriots. The Patriots beat the Denver Broncos 10-7 in the AFC Championship in Denver. The Broncos were without Bo Nix, who was high as a kite in that booth watching the game. He was like on drugs. Uh, Only a 3-point loss in a very tough defensive game where one of the scores was set up by a Jarrett Stidham crazy backward pass fumble. He was trying to get rid of the ball. He ends up fumbling it. The Patriots take over and score. Do you think if Bo Nix played in this game, the New England Patriots are still in the Super Bowl?
Yes.
All
I
right.
think they're prepared to take on whatever quarterback that came out there, and it just you know they
I
they, they got to deal with that quarterback. So
just putting that math together, it was only a 3-point game, and Jarrett Stidham did something stupid to let the Patriots score. I know Broncos fans are like, well,
for
Bo Nix
sure,
wouldn't have done that, we would have,
hey,
it would have been totally different.
and I'm not mad at them
I,
because
but I kind of agree with that. Just seeing that put together. But what you're saying is also equally as a part of that equation in that the game would have been totally different in the way that the Patriots played Bo Nix, and some of these situations
yeah,
would have happened. It might have been a worse loss.
it might
uh
have been. I mean, and plus, look, I know both teams play in cold weather like that and the snow, but that also has to be a factor as well. Uh,
oh oh my
yeah,
gosh, the
Jared
snow.
Stidham, man, because the first part of the game, they have comparisons to where like they show a picture of the field like the
Mm-hmm,
first half
mm-hmm.
of the game,
Yeah,
and then the
green
second half
grass.
looks exactly like I mean exactly looks totally different from the first half of the game. So
It just
that's
started
all.
dumping. I
This
was
is
not expecting that. That was crazy.
yeah,
And it also led to a question that's been going around, playoff football in the snow and new stadiums in the NFL being dome stadiums with retractable roofs. What say you about making it mandatory that any playoff football game is held in a dome?
sounds like that new kid stuff. Like bro, go play in the elements. What the hell? It brings a whole another element to the game. No pun intended. But like, man, sorry if you're younger and you're listening to this right now, turn off your sound real quick. But stop being bitches. Go play in the fucking snow.
Hey,
Just saying, man. Go play in the snow, man. Go play in the
oh,
snow. Play in the rain. What? Gosh.
here are the two reasons why the NFL is trying to have a roof on the stadium. when players are slipping around on 4th and 4 and not making the catches or
That's
catching the ball, turning up field and sliding into the sideline,
that's natural.
that isn't optimal football
My gosh.
statistics, right?
No, it's not. And it doesn't make revenue for the NFL. That's the
Right.
number one reason.
Points, scoring, highlights, that's
Money.
what makes money.
Yes.
Speaking of money, if I'm paying $10,000 for a Super Bowl ticket, I don't want to have to bring a big ass jacket. And I know, and I'm saying that as someone that does not have seven, eight, nine, $10,000 just to get into a football game and never will. Uh, and I'm not going to spend that much money on the Super Bowl until we get crazy rich. So I can say that that's crazy, right? But it's like, to me, with these prices, the Super Bowl is for, it's for rich people. It's for people that aren't looking at the prices. They're just like, we need 3 Super Bowl tickets. Put it on my card. Uh, and also I saw, I think it was a TikTok video where the guy was explaining uh, the 2 teams that are playing in the game get 33% of the tickets for the Super
Uh,
Bowl, and they sell through them, so they get their fans there.
yeah.
But after the league office, the family and friends, the 30 other teams get 1% of the stadium tickets. There's roughly about 1% availability left for the public
Yeah.
that everyone's fighting over. So the Super Bowl is just a big advertisement. It's a big
It's
party.
always,
It's
it's
companies buy the
halftime.
tickets. It's not for the regular. It's not for the regular person.
Yeah, it's
Did you
that.
see the morning show, the morning shift show, with those guys? Is it Mine in the Morning? I forget what it is, but there's also the
Oh,
producer
yeah,
guy,
yeah.
Mark. They got him. His dream is to go to the Super Bowl. They got him tickets. Well, they're all going. There's 3 of them. There's like, Mark, we got you tickets. You're going to the Super Bowl, and also me and Jordan are joining you. So that's crazy. That they're getting to go. But Jordan might want to kind of introduce it and did a video for it. And we're next. We're gonna go to the Super Bowl soon. Not this year though. The plan was to do that, but unfortunately, it's not going to work out with our schedules or our budgets. Um, Especially when you have I got a birthday to line up. Anyways, all right. So that's the Patriots. The Patriots are or are not frauds. The Patriots are returning to the Super Bowl. The Patriots have Mike Vrabel and Drake May. And really, what else more do you need? The Los Angeles Rams, Matt Stafford, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, not able to get the win, held scoreless in the 4th quarter versus the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle for the NFC Championship. The biggest stat that I could find here was, or the biggest discrepancy in stats that I could find here was the 3rd down conversions. The Los Angeles Rams only 1 for 8 on 3rd down, where the Seahawks were over 50%. They were 7 to 13. It looked like this was a tough game to deal with afterwards for the Rams. It kind of felt like they might have believed that they were on the kind of like a holy run. I don't want to say holy, but like they were on their way. Not holy, but like it was kind of not premeditated,
No, 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 for
not
sure.
predetermined. I'm trying to think. It was kind of like blessed or something. Like this was the way, right? Devontae Adams is
Yeah,
finally going to get to the Super Bowl. Puka Nacua was going to get to the Super Bowl and really show off, really show the world, his coming out party. Even though he's been one of the best wide receivers in the league since he hopped in. Matt Stafford capping off, what some thought was going to be his last season. At the beginning of this year, he was taking epidural shots to the back for his back pain, his back problem. So people were writing him off. And to flip it into a season where you are one of the best teams in the league overall, both sides of the ball, and you run into a buzzsaw in the Niners and the Seahawks, so you don't win your division, but you're in the wild card and you're winning these games, and you're getting to the NFC Championship, and now you just had to win to get past this Seattle team. Not able to do it, and it kind of looked like they were shocked after. not shocked, but just kind of like, I don't know. It's like they weren't ready to deal with the reality that they were going to have to start all over next year. And if they all come back next year, which is now a question for Matt Stafford and even Devontae Adams. You feel sorry for Devontae not making the?
Not at all.
Did I already ask you?
No, not at all. And it has nothing to do with him leaving the Raiders. It has to do with him like, and again, I don't have a problem with him leaving teams to go find a better team to play with to get your Super Bowl. Bet that's good. That's what you know. But also, you're leaving all these teams and getting so much money, and then you don't make it. That's like that's on you. Yeah, I've been to five. I've been to these. Some players haven't even been to one. So as much as I understand, it's heartbreaking for you not to get into the Super Bowl, because you've been to five conference championships and you haven't made it. Well, like I just said, some guys haven't even been to one. You know, uh, maybe let that sink in, Devontae Adams. But
Stop crying.
as far as the Rams, I know what you're saying. Like it just kind of feels like they were kind of like just uh all along. Not like at some point it didn't seem like they were gonna get to the Super Bowl, but then you thought about it, you watched them play, and it kind of just looked like they were on that path the whole season
Yeah.
to get to where they were, and then not get there. I think for them, I think a lot of people just expect them to go, and I credit that to Sean McVay and his coaching because, again, like you said, there were times in the season you were watching them and you kind of had to question about whether they're going to make it, and then as the season went on, you were just like, nah, it's kind of regular. They'll make it to at least the conference championship, and you expect them in the Super Bowl, but. It's just why there's a lot of these teams when they go out to pick a new head coach, a lot of them kind of pick through the Sean McVay coaching tree. A lot of the coaches that we have now that are successful all coached under Sean McVay. So pretty cool to see. I, I'm happy Seattle made it. I live in the city. I live in the state of Washington, so cool to see some of these fans get back into the Super Bowl. But also, I would have much rather see the Rams in there because of the same reason. To see some of these fans all of a sudden be a fan is funny to me. But
Oh,
whatever.
you saying it's a bandwagon up there in the PNW?
I mean, I'm not gonna say it, but I mean, you said it for me. It's whatever.
That's whatever. That's what I mean. The Super Bowl always has
For sure.
people like, I've always been a Patriots fan.
Oh my gosh. Look,
Uh,
you know what? I am happy to see two different teams in the Super Bowl this year. Exciting to see that. We get to see a different,
well,
two different quarterbacks. At least one of them is not Patrick Mahomes. Pretty cool.
I gotta do a freaking photo dump. I've been taking pictures of all these different tweets and stuff. Super Bowls since 2001. 2001 Patriots, '03 Patriots, '04 Patriots, '05 Seahawks, '07 Patriots, '11 Patriots, '13 Seahawks, 2014 Patriots and Seahawks, 16 Patriots, 17 Patriots, 18 Patriots, 2025 Patriots and Seahawks. These two teams are making up like half of the Super Bowl participants this decade. Um, that's another thing with Sam Darnold from USC. Shout out to him, 25 and 36, 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Looked great. I did not
Yeah.
think Sam Darnold was going to be the reason these guys won, especially Kenneth Walker, 19 carries, only 62 yards, did get a touchdown. But that's not, I thought it was going to be another Kenneth Walker game, and they paced him. He paced the Seahawks against the Rams, and Sam Darnold would kind of like we talked about the game manager playoff winner is
Yeah.
like your defense and your run game are so good. All you need to do is make a couple of throws. Sam Darnold put them on his back, 36 attempts, 25. That's pretty good. And I think all the hype is around Sam Darnold, his redemption story, coupled with the Seahawks revenge arc and the fact that they were able to literally go 49ers, Rams, and then Patriots, who they lost on a Super Bowl to on the last second of the game in 2011. Sorry, 2014. They get a chance to avenge that game. But Sam Darnold is the one that I'm seeing, he got thrown away by the Jets. The Panthers let him walk. The Niners had him as a backup. The Vikings won 14 games. That still wasn't enough to convince him that he was the guy, and then Seattle took a chance on him. Seattle didn't really take a chance on him. Seattle signed him, sure, but that's not. They didn't. No, Seattle. You can't say Seattle was like gave him a 4-year, $200 million contract. They just signed him to be a filler. And there's also outs in his contract. If he played really crappy, they could get out and move on. They also drafted a quarterback this year. Sam Darnold wasn't like we got our Mahomes. But he has done what he has needed to do to get this team. And he said Ernest Jones texted him at the end of last year. Oh, no, this was Cooper Kupp. Ernest Jones texted Cooper Kupp. And he was like, we need you to come here. This team is on the cusp. And that, we believed. It wasn't Geno Smith that was going to get them over the hill. But Sam Darnold coming in, I kind of thought that was just a young Geno Smith. So seeing him with get 14 wins back-to-back in back-to-back seasons, which hasn't been done, I think someone said, since Tom Brady, if then, like, Sam Darnold, sure, you're getting your shine, and that's good. However, I don't think Sam Darnold's the reason. I think it's way more Jackson Smith and Jigba.
And the whole scenario where it was the reason, and then he's gonna tell all of you that he's not the reason.
I don't think Sam Darnold is like the reason this got pushed over. I think JSN showing up and becoming freaking Randy Moss with like Terrell Owens' hands is how this freaking season went. So I don't know. I got JSN as my MVP for this team for this season, for the Seahawks getting to the Super Bowl. But in the same way that we asked about the Patriots, what do you think is the one most thing that the Seahawks got right to get them to the Super Bowl?
Signing Sam Darnold.
Okay, I think it was signing Mike McDonald 2 years ago.
For sure, that's a big reason. But you said this season because they didn't go last season.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Right. Also, you're saying it was in Jacob Smith, but wasn't he there when Geno was there? They didn't go then.
Yeah, but he got better this year.
Wait,
he's like,
but they didn't go with Geno. Who did they go with?
They went with Sam Darnold.
Okay, so he's literally
the difference.
He's literally
is he the reason?
He's literally. He was coming off a great season in Minnesota. Everybody who's gonna say something, I get what you're saying, but everybody who's about to say stuff like, "Oh man, yeah, and Jigga just got better," or "There's so many things they brought in." Well, look, Sam Darnold was doing great in Minnesota. He didn't have. I mean, they didn't want to give him the money he wanted, but he was a good quarterback there. And people are, well, what about the other previous seasons? Look, it takes time to develop. He's perfect reason you want quarterbacks to develop because he was a number one pick. They threw him into the fire. Of course, getting drafted by the Jets should be like an asterisk if you have like a really bad rookie season being drafted number one because that's where quarterbacks go to die. But he left there, was a journeyman for a little bit. Carolina, San Francisco, got to Minnesota, got his opportunity to start and play. Again, we're talking about using the opportunities you're given and, maxing it out. And that's what he did out there. Again, he got to Seattle and people didn't believe what he was doing. Yeah, he had a couple of games where he threw a bunch of interceptions, but he's, like we said, the Patriots found ways to win. So did Sam Darnold. Could another quarterback have come in here and won? I don't think so. I think, like you said, Mike McDonald having his scheme run exactly the way he needed to run is key. And I don't know if anybody else would have been able to run it like Sam Darnold. But to say that all of those things needed to come together this season, and that's how they got to the Super Bowl. Because if they were missing just one, it wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. Yeah. So.
All right. So we know the teams that are going to be in Super Bowl 60 at Levi Stadium. Candlestick? It's not Candlestick. Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. How far do you think that is from Oakland? Is that like just over a bridge, right?
Yeah, not too far.
Do you know any like food spots in the Bay Area that are like,
I
oh, you
do
got to
not.
go there?
I
Oh,
do not.
we got to. Okay, and just let us know if you know any like crazy, like recognizable and like referable suggestions. All right, so the teams that we have in the Super Bowl: the New England Patriots from Foxborough, the Seattle Seahawks. Um, Oh, also, speaking of the Seahawks and their quarterback, 26 quarterbacks from the University of Southern California have been drafted into the NFL. Sam Darnold is the first to make it to the Super Bowl.
I knew it.
Isn't that crazy?
No, not
Caleb
really.
Williams, hey, it's crazy. Cody Kessler, well, actually, now Cody Kessler, Matt Barkley, Mark Sanchez, John David Booty, Matt Leinart, Matt Castle, Carson Palmer, Kyle Wacholitz, with Colts, Rob
Ooh,
Johnson, Todd Maravich, Pat O'Hara, Rodney Pete, Pistol, Paul McDonald. Yeah, see, Mike Holmgren. Mike
yeah.
Holmgren never made the. Mike Holmgren was a USC quarterback. Shout out to him.
This explains a lot.
Shout out to Island City Media, who's always on top of things. But they put out a post shouting out the Polynesian players or the Pacific Islander players that are in the Super Bowl and are freaking realizing a dream that so many of us have watching football growing up, playing football, in high school and stuff like that. So here we go. Polynesian set to shine at Super Bowl 60 per Island City Media. For the New England Patriots, number 95 defensive tackle Kyrus Tonga at
He's
a
been good all year.
USC.
Yeah, he's been good all year.
At a USC? Why does that sound different? I feel like when he was coming out, we had him at
South
a different
Carolina.
school. Oh, okay.
No, I'm just
Uh,
kidding. I don't know. I don't know. The better
uh,
USC.
see you scar. Jelani Tavai, Patriots linebacker, number
Oh,
48. Be on the lookout
bro,
for him.
he's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. We met him and his girlfriend
Oh, nice.
at the Thea concert. B. Junior Luvu Jr.'s wife, Victoria, met him and his girlfriend. I don't know if it's his wife now, but super cool, man. Super cool guy.
Nice.
That's all.
And he's
That's all.
been but he's been killing it.
He has ever since I mean, the Detroit had the vision to start him,
mm,
because people kind of drafted him, and he was coming out of Hawaii, so not too big of a name when he was first drafted. I don't even know if he was drafted or went undrafted, but got to Detroit and he was stuffing all kinds of run plays, and they ended up having him
nice.
to start, and then the Patriots were even smarter to sign him to them, and he's been great for them so far.
Nice. It's dope to see their journeys, like their personal
Yeah,
journeys, not just the
yeah,
teams that
yeah.
they're playing
Oh,
for. Too.
yeah.
Shout out to Christian Ellis, linebacker for the Patriots, number 53 out of Idaho.
All you and your
Uh,
12 siblings.
yeah, bro. Shout out to Luther Ellis. I didn't know this, but former defensive tackle for the Detroit Lions.
Otherwise known
You
as Father Abraham.
Why is that? Oh, because of all his many children. 12 kids is a lot, but that used to be normal. That's crazy.
Hey,
We
but
gotta
look,
we gotta get our numbers back up there.
he got 4 kids in the NFL. He can afford it.
Oh man, that is crazy, right? So yeah, so Christian, Jonah, Noah, and Caden.
Aiden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy to have a brother in the NFL, to have three brothers in
Yeah.
the
3 brothers
NFL at
in
the
the
same
NFL?
time.
Right. Right.
Shout out to the Ellis family. But that's another name. I told you that I was making this like database and just writing down all the
Yep.
roster, going through the
Yep.
rosters and writing down all the Pacific Islander players. The ones with Islander names are easy, right? But these are the ones I feel like, I mean, if we didn't know, if we weren't, watching as much football, we probably wouldn't know. Or if like,
Yeah.
you didn't know about Luther Ellis, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So we got to fill that in, but yeah, the Ellises are definitely yeah, I got to put them all on the list. So yeah, for the Patriots, Tonga, Tavai, Ellis, also safety slash linebacker out of Sacramento State, number 15, Marte Mapu.
Yeah.
Marte Mapu.
He's one of those. new age linebackers. He's a little smaller, like Lance said, safety slash linebacker. He was a safety out at Sacramento State, but they want him to play linebacker. He's
Mm.
mobile, he can cover, but he can also tackle. So yeah, he's one of those new types of linebackers that people like. He's under 240 pounds. He's probably about maybe 235. Uh, just yeah, sideline to sideline guy.
Nice.
Yeah, super cool.
For the Seahawks, number 36, George Holani, their running back, who is the RB2 now. He got a lot
Yep,
of run in the championship game with, Zach Charbonnet
Charbonnet
being
out.
out for
Yeah.
the season or for the rest of the playoffs. George Holani out of Boise State. And Bosco. My sister said my brother would like drive him to, practice and stuff. Him and my nephew would drive him
Oh,
to
when he
practice
was
out there.
playing at SC.
I think at the high school in California,
Oh, okay.
Bosco, or I want to say Don Bosco, but that sounds like one.
St. John's.
St. John Bosco.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 95 for the Seahawks, defensive tackle Brandon Peely out of USC and Westview High School and Alaska. Uh,
Hmm.
I think he got drafted by, where did he get drafted by the Dolphins?
Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's had an all right season out there, but obviously they were going in a different direction, so he ended up with the Seahawks, where he's playing great.
He used to live with my neighbors, like the people I'm sharing a wall with right now. This is their nephew, and he went to the school like around the block for his like senior year before he went to USC. Um,
Also, fun fact: his sister plays professional basketball for the
a
WNBA and for the women's league in Australia. So yeah,
Shout out to Alyssa. Yeah, so Brandon Peely there, George Holani, Marte Mapu, Christian Ellis, Jelani Tavai, and Kyrus Tonga. Shout out to y'all. Shout out for making the Super Bowl, for showing up big time in these plays, for doing your part on your team. And good luck to you in 2 weeks. Hopefully, you
yeah,
guys show out, have a great game. I know, like, it's a flip of the coin. Whoever wins is going to get that shine, get that for the rest of their lives to be a Super Bowl champion. And it's going to be, I assume, very deflating to be on the other side of that, come Super Bowl Sunday night. But I don't know, just getting here, getting to this stage, and being a part of your team and like contributing to that, that's props to y'all. Shout out to you guys, and I know that's inspiring and like hyped. I'm hyped to see it. I'm hyped to
yeah.
see our people on that stage and doing their part.
And shout out to the halftime one on the Patriots, the quarterback
Oh,
Drake May. Shout out to Drake May. Look to see, why you
Drake
look
May,
like that?
Drake
Why
May,
you?
Drake May. I didn't know he was part Samoan.
Yeah, his first name is Drake.
Truck it to this. Come on, truck it. Shout outs. Let's get them going. No shout outs to the Pro Football Writers Association in charge of selecting the Hall of Fame coaches.
No love to those guys, man.
Hey, this is crazy. And he will be a Hall of Famer someday, but not getting in on the first try. Bill Belichick was denied the opportunity to become a first ballot Hall of Famer today, when he did not receive 80% of the votes. I think there's 40 and he needed, or there's 50 and he needed at least 40, and he did not get to 40. I don't know how you look at Bill Belichick's ring total, his total years,
Just
his
the ring
total
total alone.
wins,
Yeah,
and not think that he is a for sure get in the Hall of Fame
that is
as
so
soon as
wild.
possible.
That's wild.
We looked up the three coaches that are in the Hall of Fame that got in on their first try. And yeah, it's a pretty recognizable it's a pretty recognizable list.
Yeah,
Chuck Noll, Don Shula, and Tom Landry were reportedly the only coaches in the Hall of Fame that got voted in their first year of eligibility. I think Bill Belichick belongs in that category. I think he has as many rings as them combined. I think they have like 8, and he's got 6 as a head coach, and then more as an assistant coach with the
as an
Giants and
assistant
stuff.
coach. Yeah, exactly.
And so Bill Belichick, as much rings as those guys, uh, as many games, as many wins. You know, one of the most winningest coaches in history. I think he's the second most wins. Uh, I don't know. I guess they got the writers got one up on Coach Belichick, and they're gonna
For
make
not
him wait
answering
a
their
year.
questions at press conferences.
Yeah, for being so coy and stuff. Here are the rest of the coaches in the Hall of Fame that didn't make it in their first time. So at least their second year or longer. Bill Walsh, Paul Brown, had a team named after him. Vince Lombardi, that trophy from the Super Bowl, his name. Hank Strom's in the Hall of Fame. Mark Levy, George Allen, Weeb Eubank, Bill Cowher, Jimmy Johnson, Tony Dungy, John Madden, Dick Vermeil are the rest of the Hall of Fame coaches. Those coaches did not make it. I definitely think Bill Belichick is above in that category above it, but I agree with you that he should be also in that
Yeah,
Chuck Noll, Don Shula, Tom
for
Landry.
sure. Yeah, agreed.
Why do you think he didn't make it? Why do you think that he didn't qualify? Or because if he didn't qualify, the rest of the people behind him are going to be less. So they're
Yes.
not going to qualify ever. Like no one's ever going to have 6 head coaching Super Bowl. Like
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It takes away an
It's a bad
opportunity for
look.
someone else to get it. Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's horrible. And shout outs. Let's get some shout outs. Shout out to the Polytickin Network. We're on it. You're listening to it. You're watching. Appreciate you guys for tapping into TPN. Shout out to Oh Hello Marcus. Follow him on TikTok
Yep,
for the
classic. Yep.
comic book reads, the TikTok lives that are starting. You got to tap in with him to know when those are happening. Sefa M, new album out, all platforms, Apple, Spotify. It's called Grief Counseling. He's talking about
Such
dealing
a
with the
good album, man.
he's talking about dealing with the trauma and the emotions of losing family and how to get through that and remembering them and honoring them. That is an album. It's also like 25 minutes long. It's not a crazy long album. So definitely stream that, run those numbers up, put it on mute when you go to sleep. Uh, yeah, grief counseling. Levasa out there, Modesto, definitely follow them. LE_VASA, not only for the clothing apparel, but for the community works that they're doing. Um, yeah, Village Kids Media. So follow Coach Forrest. You got a new drop. You got everything actually.
Not like as you get older, you try to find things to do, like because you don't do all the fun. So, yeah, try to be into everything: photography, the cards, the comics, but also the community that you get to be a part of is super cool. So, I mean, for instance, like how we shout out Mark, that was my shout out too, would be Marcus. It's cool to see him go in depth to some of the stuff he's reading. And he doesn't just tell you about like, oh, because I just tell you about like the fighting going on in the comic or the cool stuff. Marcus kind of gets into like the inner monologue of the characters and the writers, like because if it's an inner monologue, obviously it's the writer, it's probably his inner monologue, and Marcus gives you those aspects of it. So anytime, like I just put a reel out today about the DC KO universe, which if you guys have ever wondered what it looked like to have like a bunch of superheroes kind of fight in like a tournament, you know what I mean? Like almost like this is the exact words on my video, like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, go read DC Knockout. And that's what I tell you, but I'm also telling people to go directly to Oh Hello Marcus on Instagram and listen to him talk about it because he'll talk about the art, the writing style, the writers in it, what they're trying to tell people, the meaning of some of the things. So super in depth about it. Super passionate too. Just love the way he's gotten into comics and the way he's just into comics. Like there's no in between with him. Like he doesn't kind of read comics. He doesn't pick up some comics. Like he's fully in. He reads everything he buys, and he's out there. Like he's constantly growing his collection. But it's not like he's grabbing just popular stuff. Like oh, someone told him, oh, go grab this comic because the cover is cool, or this guy fights in this comic, or you get to see this guy. He goes out there, he picks things that he likes to read, and he's just into it. It's stuff he likes. He doesn't care. Like that, exactly what we said on one of his posts. Is like, who cares? Like, go read what you read, post what you post. Super cool, man. The message
Nice.
Marcus puts out, just the message everybody needs to read, man. Do what you like and don't care what people think.
We all need to do that
Yeah.
more. So it's great to see Marcus putting that out there and really like grabbing it by I don't know what's the term there.
By the cape, because we're talking about comics, so we're gonna say
Oh
cape.
yeah, there you
Yeah, yeah. See,
go. Yeah. Shout out to the listeners. Shout out
hell
to the
yeah,
watchers. Thank you guys for tapping in. Leave a comment. Let me know if you like this shirt.
hell yeah. I love it.
Hey.
I
Uh,
love it.
but yeah, appreciate you guys for tapping in. That is our episode for this week. Next week, we are going to deep dive into Super Bowl 60, the matchups, the expectations, what the lines are, X factors that we're hearing about or seeing or think that might have a big time effect on the biggest game of the year. As the Seahawks and Patriots look to do battle in San Francisco for Super Bowl
Yeah.
60. And yeah, we'll be out here next Wednesday, the Wednesday before Super Bowl 60, breaking down the Super Bowl and also award season coming up. But we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna do the Pacific Islander NFL awards. So yeah, we're gonna get our own
Yeah.
players
Your cousins,
awards and shines. Your cousins are
our
about to
cut.
get
Yeah, your cousins are about to get awards from us.
yeah. Yeah, shout out to everybody listening. Appreciate you guys for, spending your time with us. And yeah, we'd love to hear from you and we appreciate you guys tapping in. Anything else before we go?
Yeah, man. The Raiders are the best. That's what you
Thanks
guys
for
say.
listening, guys. Stay hydrated, stay blessed, stay balling, love and light. Peace.
Go Raiders!
Did him?